Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. Well, 2023 is underway on the PGA Tour, and it was the way it happened was a surprise, but no surprise to see Jon Rahm lift a trophy. He absolutely loves this place. Last 2 years at Kapalua, 60 under par.
Yeah, not bad. If you would have just said, hey, it's the beginning of the week, Jon Rahm's going to win, I would have said, yeah, sounds about right. However, after 54 or even after the front nine yesterday on Sunday, you would have said Jon Rahm was going to win. I said, you're full of shit. I was back and forth between football, golf, and I was like, well, this is going to be a snoozer. Morikawa's got this thing, 6-shot lead with 9 to go. Rahm was 9 back at one point. I mean, you just don't see it, and then just bam, quickly. Although if there's a golf course, Colt, like that, it can happen. Like 6-shot lead, like that place, it's like you see guys shoot 8, 9, 10 under pars out there. So, I mean, look at it that way. Like, Rahm's going to shoot 10 under. All right, Morikawa, you got to shoot 5. Like, it ain't a layup.
Do that math again. He had a 7-shot lead over Rahm.
Excuse me, it was 7 over Rahm. Well, we can start that over if you want. Rahm was 7. I mean, his next guy, then he had a 6-shot lead over everyone, over the next closest, right? So you're gonna have, if someone's gonna shoot 10, the next guy's gonna shoot 10. You got to shoot 5. But I mean, someone can go shoot 10. Is my point. You still got to shoot. You can't just cruise in with like 1 under. Typically out there.
No, I mean not on that golf course. We saw Gary Woodland. I was talking with him last night a few years ago. Had a 6-shot lead after one hole over on Xander, and ended up shooting 5 under for the day and lost. I just dropped my pen.
Yeah, we're off
because
to a hot start
Xander
here.
shot minus 11. But look, I love Colin Morikawa. He's a stud. This is the second time he's blown a rather big lead. Now listen, Jon Rahm, like you said, went out and played very, very well. But the way Colin was cruising, no bogeys for the entire tournament, was the only player in the field that actually made 3 bogeys in a row. Bogeys 14, 15, 16.
On holes that guys
3
were
are very easy holes.
eating up. That's not like the hardest stretch in the world. Those are ones that people are playing in 2 under, 3 under, things like that.
I mean, every time he missed a green, all you heard from Paul Azinger and Dan Hicks was like, he's struggling at chipping. He's not. This is the weakest part of his game. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, can this guy hear him right now? Because he just laid the sod over it there on 15.
That was the one they just kept going on about this chip uphill into the grain, into the wind, all this stuff. I was like, Jesus, guys.
Can I, out. Since we are
manifestation,
we are in the trust tree here on Subpar.
We're in the
let me tell you exactly what happened my day yesterday.
Okay, good.
So I was same thing. I had the Cowboys on one TV, the golf on one.
Oof.
Well, they both were just awful for me. Cowboys played terrible, got killed by the Commanders, and then Colin Morikawa is just running away from the field. I'm like, well, it's pretty boring. I got to go to Puerto Rico. I'm going to go pack. Oh, actually, took a little time for a little winter cleaning, cleaned out my closet.
Oh, we're in the middle of the day.
Got all. I was like, I got nothing to do on a Sunday. Nothing really exciting on TV. My buddy texts me. He's like, hey, I'm coming in town this weekend. Could we play golf? I'm like, let me look at the schedule. I clicked on the PGA Tour app. It was a tie ball game. I'm like,
quickly.
What just happened?
Quickly.
I was like, I gotta go. The cleaning's done. I gotta go check out the golf. And then I turned it on. I'm like, and my heart was just breaking for Colin Morikawa, but I'm interested to see what this does to him. I mean, he's a tough kid. Obviously he's a world-class player. He's one of the best players in the world. But to do this twice early
is
on
the
in
thing.
Your career,
I feel like you play golf enough, especially a young kid like Colin. He's come out, he's had success right away. He's already got 2 majors. Like, he hasn't really had any quote-unquote failures yet. You know, you play golf from that age for an entire career, you're going to blow some leads. Like, it just is what it is. Unless your name's Tiger Woods, like, it happens to virtually everybody. But to do it in 2 in a row where you've had big leads on a Sunday, it's hard to not have that creep in your mind the next time that it happens. Let me be very clear. I ain't worried about Colin Morikawa going forward. However, 2 in a row like this where he's had the big leads going into Sunday, not getting it done, that definitely is something you think about, I think, the next Sunday when you got some kind of a lead going into the final round. By the way, his odds, if I'm not mistaken, after the front 9, he was minus 20,000 to win the golf tournament.
Wow.
Or something something massive. And by the end of the thing, he was plus, going into the last hole, he was plus $1 million because he needed double eagle.
well, obviously, I mean, we have a friend.
That's the biggest swing I think I've ever seen in 9 holes.
We have a friend over at SiriusXM who obviously knew it was going to happen. So
of course, I had a feeling. Yeah.
But man, it's rough. I mean, after he birdied the first hole, he had a 9-shot lead over Jon Rahm.
9 over Rahm.
That's 17 to play. You're like, okay, I can cruise this in.
Once in a career type stuff where you come back 9-shot deficit, 17 holes.
But go back to Jon Rahm, his last 5 starts around the world between DP World Tour, PGA Tour. T2 first, T4 first.
Yeah, off a year last year that people were saying was like down year.
It was.
He didn't
was
play
for
good
him.
in majors. It's all. I mean, at this point, Rahm's going to be evaluated on major championships.
Yeah.
Anyone is best.
But look out, this could be a monster year for Jon Rahm. I still think it'll be a monster year for Colin Morikawa. I said that towards the end of last year. I think Colin was frustrated with his year last year. He went to work, started working with new putting coach, and worked with the short game chef Parker McLaughlin a little bit, which
cooking up some recipes.
They might have a little more work to do than we thought.
So, yeah.
Interesting to see what happens. But we also had some golf this past week. The Johnny O twin fin pro scratch. You and
can
I
hear it in my voice a little bit.
Have been victorious in this event, but we were not this year. Me and my guy, listen, there's no excuses to be made. We did not play like champions. We just sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, not one thing went right. We parred the first 8 holes in a scramble. No putts going in. Carried over. The only good thing that happened was the second day we got to play with Greg Trias and Gary McCord. And I told Greg, on the first talk, Greg, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. It's always an honor to play golf with you, but when it's on the second day of the twin fin after they go by score, it's really not that cool.
Were you close to the blind squirrel division?
Oh, we were in it. We lost by a shot.
Oh, you were in it? Oh, damn. Yeah. See, that's the only good news. They do it.
Yeah.
Blind squirrel is they put, what is it, the bottom 10 teams or something like that?
It was more than that this
Whoever's
year,
the last 10 teams after day one, they put them in a separate division. You're starting over, and you're trying to win out of that. It's like, it's like you're the biggest loser. You're the best loser, and you win money, by the way.
You can win your entry fee back.
Some dudes have strategies like after 13, like we're playing terrible, let's just tank it coming in, get in the blind squirrel, and you can still win a little bit of money.
Yeah, I
didn't know you're in it.
We sucked. We were in it. We shot 3 under the next day. I think lost by a shot to Doc Maynard and Paul Trittler. Did win it close to the pin though, so got a little bit of cash out of the deal.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was an ugly 2 days of golf, which happens.
Yeah, I got a text from you. You teed off way earlier than us, and you're like, we're 2 under through 12. I was like, oh boy.
Well, we were even through 8.
Mayday. So good run there from 9 through 12.
By the way, you mentioned we teed off way earlier than you. Del Cochran, I asked you for a late tee time because I got in late from the Callaway event. Really didn't work out too well.
Yeah, we got off late, which was nice. Dre and I were the opposite. We started off fast both days. We're like 7 under through 7. Round one, I was like, here we go. Dude, let's shoot 15. Let's shoot something like that. Then, of course, hit the skids. We shoot 11 under the first day. Still in decent spot. It always comes down to the best ball. You got to have 2 guys.
That's real.
2 guys that are making birdies. Like, you need an amateur that can make birdies. There's just not that many that can do it out there. Same thing the next day. We're like 4 under through 5 or 6 or something like that. And like, yeah, dude, we probably won off the lead right now. And then just par city the rest of the way. What do we finish? I don't know. Probably 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. No dub for us, bottom line.
It's all right.
But had a time. You can hear it in my voice, struggling a bit. And I'm headed off.
That ended on Friday.
I'm headed off today, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going. I'm going.
You got a big day
going.
ahead. This is obviously coming out on Tuesday. So when this comes out, we will not know whether you're a happy sleaze or sad sleaze. But best of luck to you and the Frogs. The line is now up to 13 and a half.
13. Flying out this
13
afternoon.
and a half. I just looked on.
Oh, really? I saw it this morning. Well, there was a certain book that was 13. So
13 and a half. You're heading out there. Listen, Georgia's stacked. Y'all been playing great all year, but best of luck. I can't wait to recap this on next week's Subpar. But just when this episode comes out, we'll know whether or not they won. But right now,
little worried about the voice for the remainder of the week for talking.
God, you're going to sound
it's
great
already
on the
a
radio.
problem, and then in we'll see what happens tonight. But
maybe
we'll
just a water
grab in and out. Well, it's gonna be way lighter than it was in the Fiesta Bowl. I just don't have enough time to. By the way, no tailgating at SoFi Stadium. That's
embarrassing.
That's a catastrophe. That's what college football is tailgating. If you're going to host a national championship game, you got to be allowed to tailgate.
I have a feeling
LA should not get any big games in college football for the remainder of the history
There
of
might be
football.
some rules broken, like, hey, here's the TCU hotel, here's the Georgia hotel. We're going to take over the parking lot at the hotel.
They say no, at the hotel probably. There's another there's an off-site tailgate going on, but dude, parking lots with the flags up, cooking, drinking. That's college football.
That's embarrassing.
It's a terrible look for LA.
Before we get to our interview, we got to say spots are filling up fast at the Larry. February 6th, Monday of Phoenix Open, our first ever event. Going to be out at Greyhawk Golf Club, the Talon Course, 11 a.m. shotgun. Got tons of pros, tons of celebrities, and just a few spots remaining. So make sure you go to golf.com/thelarry and sign up your team. You can do it right there on the internet.
A few more. Some of our favorite guests are going to be in the house, just to name off a
little
couple.
Fireside chat with Jordan Spieth, possibly another major champion.
Possibly another. We got some conference from some of your favorite guests. Kami is going to be a hot commodity in this thing. We got Derek Anderson, of course, Johnny Manziel, just to name a few. There's going to be a lot of great players out there, a lot of dudes. Spots are limited. Get on that quick if you want to be a part of the Larry.
Yep, February 6th. Make sure you go to golf.com/the Larry and sign up right now. All right, our guest this week, up and coming, really, really good player on the PGA Tour. I believe when we filmed this was 31st on the FedEx Cup. Played out of Vanderbilt. Hits it 9 miles. I took him to Whisper Rock right before we did this interview. Wouldn't believe some of the places he hit his tee shots. One of the top 5 fastest club head speeds on the PGA Tour. But Will Gordon, he has got a bright future ahead of him.
These dudes on the tour. Played with one the second day at the Twin Fin. Kevin Yu, by the way. It's sickening. Now, granted, we're getting shorter. The longer we get out of like playing golf, play less golf. But also they're getting longer. And it's just disgusting
It's
now.
the game.
And
It's the way it is.
Yeah. I was thinking about going back to Q school this year. Now I'm maybe
I don't think
putting
you
the
should.
brakes on it. I got to get on that stack.
TCU keeps winning. You're going to not be able to.
No,
your golf game's going to suffer.
no, that's in the fall too. It's probably falls on a football weekend.
All right, well, let's get to it. Here's Will Gordon on Golf Subpar.
Let's get this thing underway. Our man here today, off to a very nice start to the year. 31st in the FedEx Cup standings. Former SEC Player of the Year and first team All-American. When he's not making tweets, he's hitting dingers in the Dinger Derby down in Cabo. Will Gordon, greetings.
Thanks, guys. Excited to be here.
I'm glad you just brought that up because you were there.
I was.
Because Sleaze has been telling everybody how he hit this just monstrous home run. By the way,
It still hasn't landed. It's fucking.
And he's also trying to tell people that the field down there is like regulation Major League Baseball.
It's borderline.
It's 7
big.
paces to the.
Yeah.
It's 7 paces out.
Not where I was sitting. Him left field's longer.
You
The
did a
right
lob
field
wedge
wall.
over the fucking
The
fence,
right wheel.
and you're telling people you knocked it out of Yankee Stadium.
I hit one and would have gone over the monster, and then the next
Made it
monster,
out of the canyon,
and
but
the
the
next
canyon's
monster.
only 100
I think I
yards.
killed the dude working on the other side of the mountain. Can't go back down there anymore. You hit a bunt. Did you win the thing?
No,
I kind
I made it to the
lost
finals.
interest after
I made it to the finals, but I did not. I didn't win the thing. But
Who got you?
God, that guy who came up out of nowhere.
The big dude.
Oh,
He
my.
went right in front of me, and he like missed the
Was
first
his
two.
name
And I was
Aaron
like,
Judge?
he's terrible.
I mean, looked like he might as well have been.
Dude,
In that environment, he was the equivalent of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, he was like Dominican and spoke Spanish. All this. He got up in front of me, and he hit the first two. I was like, and he's a
I mean,
big dude. I was
oh.
like, he's gonna hit bombs, and
Like
then he missed like the first two.
like whiffs that
Yeah,
are getting out.
and then he figured it out, and I was like, okay, somebody else go next.
How much of a relief is it when that first one goes over? in that
Just get
environment?
one. Just
Don't get shut out.
Yeah.
Don't get shut out. Some of the boys got
Yeah.
blanked. That's a bad look.
Yeah, it's not-
Wyndham
got
should he
blanked.
lose his tour card for that? You have to have more hand-eye to play on tour than that.
I expected a lot out of Wyndham, to be honest, too.
I expected 0. I got got exactly what I thought.
Sleaze likes to shit all over Wyndham on this show pretty much daily.
I had a lot of high hopes for Wyndham.
I never have.
Do
As
you-
his father, he's already exceeded everything I thought.
This
he'd
was Sleaze's first Pros and Joe's experience. Do you think you should get FedEx Cup points for that event?
We were actually talking about it this year. I think it should be an elevated
It
event.
should be an elevator.
be. It is elevated.
It is elevated, but I think they should give extra points
It is
It's
the
time.
most elevated event
all year.
that I've ever seen. Speaking of Wyndham's dumbass, I texted him today about some stuff about you. He's like, yeah, he's an outdoorsman, and then some other bullshit. And then we just get in here today, like,
Hold on, let's clarify.
You've
this
been
real
hunting
quick.
once.
Because we played golf today, okay? And I talked to John Augustine, fellow Vanderbilt Commodore, whatever the hell y'all are called over there.
commies, dude.
Yeah, and he said the same thing. He's like, "Oh, big outdoorsman." And then today we're out there playing golf, and you're like, "Oh, I went duck hunting for the first time the other day." And I'm like, "Wait, what? First time?"
Yeah, apparently outdoorsman is not the classification everybody else thinks. I like going outdoors.
I like to gamble on my phone while I sit in my yard.
Oh no, I have I love going to like national parks, doing hiking, whitewater rafting. No family grew up hunting or fishing really, but I've gotten into it. I like to ask Wyndham a lot about his fishing because I told him if he ever needs drag somebody
He
along.
pretends like he's the world's greatest. I don't know if he is. He just sends me pictures of shit that
Yeah.
probably just swim right up to the boat. Or he's
So-
at,
It's chum in
he's
the
at
water.
an aquarium and he just picks it up like, look what I got.
But nice sources we have, huh?
Yeah.
Us both big outdoorsmen.
Yeah, outdoorsman. I would think.
And I
is
play
like-
golf. I'm outside.
Yeah. It's like a-
Outdoors, but like hiking, whitewater rafting, like that's outdoor. But like the dudes,
Outdoorsman is
you're not
hunting.
like Kisner, like
No,
Brian Harmon,
heck
like
no.
they're like outdoors,
Heck
like
no.
they hunt.
Heck no. I'm
and
like
shoot
a
shit.
I'm like a city slicker compared to those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
So I've also been duck hunting once in my life. I was one and done.
Me too.
Yeah. Getting up at 3:30 in the morning and freezing my ass off wasn't really that fun to me.
I loved it.
Did
man.
you enjoy it?
I loved it. We went for 3 days with a guy I know in California. And how about I'm a guy from North Carolina who moves to South Georgia, has to fly to California to duck hunt for his first time.
Yeah.
I was-
I feel
I didn't
like
know they allowed duck hunting in California.
It'll make you look in the mirror on the flight out there. You're like,
you're probably never gonna be allowed back in California again.
no, but it was fun. Yeah, we got up every day. We were A lot of the ducks survived, but we had a good time.
Yeah,
The ducks survived.
They don't even move.
They're like, I'm not worried about this guy.
Yeah, don't worry, just hang out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all my
can't hit
ducks survived too.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it.
I
I got one under my belt. It's one of my only kills.
Yeah,
I've been hunting
That and a raccoon. I got two teardrops.
Okay. Been hunting twice. Duck hunting once, deer hunting once. Fell asleep in the deer stand, woke up, saw a deer, shot, missed, retired.
Good place to nap.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any interest in doing the like deer hunting. Like I would love to do like elk or something where you have to like
Hunt it.
yeah,
Like
stalk
actual
it.
hunting.
Yeah, like
it
a
just
real-
feels like shooting.
Not
when
just sniping something out of
Yeah,
it
I don't
where it
really
doesn't
have
even know
any
you're
interest.
there.
You should go to our friend the Illigs Ranch. They
That's
just
where I got
they just
mine.
hold the animals for you and you shoot them. It's
Yeah,
great.
they literally throw like a limp, lame duck out there with one wing, and I'm like, here, shoot him.
I feel like I got like 10 more
Get
hunts
one.
on me before I'm an outdoorsman. So we're working toward it though.
All right, so big outdoorsman Will Gordon.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
let's talk a little about Vanderbilt because one of my favorite cities in the world, Nashville, which it's changed a lot over the last decade. I'm
has.
sure it's changed quite a bit since
Yeah.
you went to school there. But what led you to Vanderbilt?
No, it was weird. Like, so I visited a whole bunch of North Carolina schools. I grew up in ACC country, so that was all I really knew. I didn't really know SEC territory, and I was visiting Alabama, and my cousins living in Birmingham. I was staying with them, and I had gotten an email from Vanderbilt, but I didn't know anything about it. And my cousins went up to visit some friends at Vandy, and I didn't realize it was so close. So when they said they were going up there, I emailed the coach, and I was like, hey, any chance I could come for a visit Monday or Tuesday? And I went up there and like immediately fell in love with it. I fell in love with the idea like we could build something because Vanderbilt wasn't really a great golf school prior to Coach Limbaugh getting there. And they turned it into, a really cool program. So to be a small part of that was like a really appealing thing to me when I went on a visit.
Country music and pretty women also.
Here's
kind
how
of
you go to
appealing.
Vanderbilt. You land in Nashville, like, want to go here? Or you
Yeah.
want to go to Tuscaloosa? No
Yeah.
offense to Tuscaloosa, but it ain't Nashville.
No, yeah, exactly. And like Colt said, like the development that's happening year after year. I got done in 2019, and like since then, we go to different places. Like when I go back, and it's amazing how fast it's evolving. So it's such a fun town, and like the Vanderbilt's a little bubble within it. So it was a perfect fit for me.
You're one of the only dudes to move out of Nashville in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
the
he's-
whole
he's
world
trying to get
is
better at
moving
golf.
there. Yeah.
Well, that was the main
I mean,
thing.
yeah.
Like it was an awesome place to get better, and like the environment's amazing, but there's not a ton of guys to play with like here or where I live, Sea Island, and the weather's just not great. So I needed to get out of there, and I think if I lived in Nashville, there'd be way too many distractions. So.
Top 3 bars in Nashville in order to go.
Rippy's, but they redid it last time I was there, so
Been there?
we didn't go.
I haven't been.
I would say Rippy's, Kid Rock, and I don't know, Luke's or something.
The whole strip
Yeah,
is sweet.
it's so fun. I mean, and we would go to. I mean, you go to different places like. We go to Demumbrian too. Tin Roof on
Tin Roof on
Tin
Demumbrian
Roof, yeah.
is
You'll find Aaron Fleener there.
time. Might have gone there with him several times.
Yeah.
He's trying to get signed.
That place, there's a bartender there. I can't remember his name. Massive dude, can also sing.
Yeah.
But he hooks it up in that place.
Was it Aaron, massive dude who can sing?
No, he was with me. He was on the other side of the bar. But man, it is fun, and there are a few distractions there. I would say.
Yeah.
Easy. You grew up, though, you said ACC country, Davidson, North Carolina. Grew up, or not, I shouldn't say grew up, but you were playing with Steph when he was at Davidson, yeah?
Yeah. So
Before today's stuff.
Yeah, my parents got to be their best friends were kind of the coach at Davidson, and we were a host family for 3 different players growing up. 2 from the Congo, 1 from Nigeria, and so they were kind of they would kind of stay with us during winter break, summer break when they needed to, and it was such a cool environment for me to grow up in because like for me, 5 to 15 years old, that was like the biggest sports thing in the world. And so when Steph came, it was a really cool experience just to watch because games went from 50% capacity to people scalping tickets outside. And we played a little golf here and there when he was his last couple years in school and his first couple years in the league. And it's just really cool to see. I mean, nobody knew where he was going to go at that point, and it's been inspiring for me. Like we don't talk or anything on a usual basis, but he got my family and I tickets for Christmas Day last year here in Phoenix. Like it's an inspiration more than anything.
I mean, how
That's
crazy is
sweet.
that though? You see him at Davidson, like here he is, just this little skinny guy going around. I mean, he can
Yeah,
obviously
shot the
shoot.
shit out of it, but
Yeah.
no one thought he'd be the best player in the world.
Now, I mean, I look at him. I mean, he's literally top 5 players in the NBA right now.
There was a couple stories I remember, like obviously like the NCAA run, like the Georgetown game. They had Roy Hibbert, those guys, and we were down 20 points, and Steph just took over, and it's this guy who's 6'1", 180 taking over, and you're like, holy moly. And we played at UNCG one time. We were up there, and I think Steph scored like 2 points in the first half. He scored 40 in the second half, like in a 20-minute half. And
Video game.
It's just that stuff you don't even realize the perspective of it when it's going on, but after the fact, you're like, wow, that was pretty lucky to experience that.
I'm not the biggest basketball guy in the world, but I just love watching him because he truly looks like he is enjoying every moment out there, and I think it's so cool. Like, he's having fun doing what he loves, and it's everyone else. I mean, there's some, like, you got his teammate Draymond Green, who's bitching about everything.
Yeah.
And you got Steph over here who's just having a blast, interacting
100%.
with the crowd. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I think like you said, you try to take that into what we do, play golf. Like, you try to play with that same joy and enthusiasm, and when you go to work, try to mimic that.
No, I need you to throw more clubs and get angry.
Yeah, punch teammates also, like Draymond. It's a good look.
Colt was one-handing things today like you wouldn't believe.
One-handed what? Follow-throughs?
Yeah.
Or people?
Well, but I was slapping you around. I was like, man, I got to kind of get this guy's confidence going a little bit. I mean, he's got to play in a couple weeks.
Did you take an L today or not?
Yeah, I took an L to Colt
Well,
today.
score-wise,
You'll
but
only-
financially, he came out ahead. I told him I'd be more than happy for him to beat me and me win the money. I don't give a shit what I shoot anymore. I just want to win money.
I just let my partners. I'd sprinkle in a birdie or an eagle, and then we'd.
That's a good guess too. You come in, you can't just bow race everybody.
I had a
right
couple
off the
of
jump.
three handicappers getting 8 pops that shot 71 and 72 respectively. OJ Hibbert, Dan Marley, you're dead to me. I'm coming for you tomorrow. Get ready.
Yeah, who will remain
gonna-
anonymous?
And Colt
OJ, Dan.
Colt did call it on the first tee. He was like, you know what? You shot 65 the other week.
What was Dan? What was Thunder playing at?
3.
Yeah, he's scratch.
Dr.
Did you guys play back or?
Yeah, played all the way
Russ?
Played all the way
back.
back.
Dr.
Back, he's probably that's close. I would say he's 2 maybe from the back.
I mean,
Russ for sure.
Stowe's a 2 handicap, shot 73. I was getting one aside from the kid. I shot 69. We just got outplayed.
Hey, sometimes it happens
Yeah.
in this game.
It was fun though.
What was Steph's game like in college? I just played with, what was that, a few months ago? We went to Cal Club, played a deal. I played practice round with him.
Yeah.
I would never play with him, seen it on TV. It's legit, like,
That's good.
I bet you he's scratch. I think he played scratch that day.
I mean, I don't know how many times we played, but it was probably 10 or 12, and I was probably from like ages, 10 to 14, 15, and the last time he beat me, and it was kind of Lance Young, who's now with Excel, was Steph's agent at the time, and it's kind of funny. Like, I started running into Lance after I started playing in college and stuff, but Steph beat me. I think I shot I was probably 14, 15. I think I shot like 76, and Steph shot even, and then that was the end of that.
Can we go back and hate on Lance a second for losing Steph as a client?
That would have been a good one. Probably a good one to hang on to.
Yeah, you probably should have hung on to that one, Lance.
If you're going to hang on to any, that's a meal ticket, I feel like. It's disgusting. Like, he's legitimately top 5, whatever you want to call him, best basketball players in the world. And you go play golf, which it takes years to get, and he's very, 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 very good. He's probably in the top 1% of golf, too. It's just like,
And
damn.
he's super nice. He's
incredibly
annoying.
nice.
He's super nice. He's really talented. And he's good at everything he does.
Yeah. A lot
I mean,
like us.
I get it.
Shit. I guess we shouldn't hate on him too much. You know what I mean?
Thought there was only a few of us.
Yeah, it's nice to meet, some like-minded people out there, some similar people. We got a lot in common. I was trying to get him to talk about himself during the practice round. Nothing. Waters did, though. I won the club championship when I was 14. Okay, Waters.
17th ranked senior amateur in the country.
Yeah, MVP, finals MVP. Shout out.
No big deal. Take us through the process of turning pro after Vandy.
Yeah.
Because you got some starts. I believe your 5th start as a pro was Travelers, correct?
Yeah, it was. So I played a summer in Canada, and it was hard at first because like the guys I came out with was Wolf, Hoffman, Morikawa, Justin Saw, and like that whole summer.
It's a tough class.
That's a class.
Yeah, and that whole summer, and I knew it was coming. Like I was told by the people who were kind of advising me, like, these guys are gonna get starts all summer, and you're that next guy, and you'll get them, but it's gonna take a little bit. And so I played that summer in Canada, and I just. It was a great learning experience. I'm glad it happened that way. It wasn't the most fun thing in the world, but I played up in Canada for 9 events, played the Barracuda for 1 event and a Corn Ferry event. But, I remember stuff like, watching Colin and Matt and knowing I can compete with those guys. And, they've done such a good job quickly, and it's been so impressive to watch. So I was up there in Canada, and then I got a couple of sponsor invites at Mayakoba and RSM, top 10 to RSM, and got into Sony, missed the cut. Then I got another sponsor exemption into Torrey Pines, and then that got me past that Corn Ferry Tour final threshold. But then, 2 weeks after that, the world ended with COVID, and I was told, it was going to be fall of 2020, 21 until I could play Corn Ferry Finals. So I was a little bit fearful there for a minute that, I wasn't going to have anywhere to play for 14 months. But then got into Travelers and finished third and got my card that way.
You finished third, and you played with John Rahm Sunday?
Yeah, I played with John Rahm Sunday. That was a really cool experience. I think he was second in the world at that point. And anytime you get to be up close and personal with those guys, you learn so much about their competitive nature and the type of shots required to play at the top level. So I always try to take note when I play with those guys and major champions.
Did you know what you had to do going into Travelers to get special temporary?
Yeah,
you know exactly like fifth or better, and I got it. Like that's a tough final round if you know, and it's high.
And I think I knew I had to get a 3-way tied for third or better.
That's
but
tough coming down the stretch.
Ricky Fowler had called me the Wednesday before that tournament, and he told me I was going to get a sponsor exemption into Rocket Mortgage because I think Bern Wiesberger couldn't make it over because of COVID or something. So I knew I was going to get another opportunity that next week, and honestly, that freed me up big time because I was like,
at least I got another crack.
Yeah, like I don't have yes, you want to get it done that week, but you don't have to it's not the end of the world because I'm going to be able to play next week. And at that point, man, playing another week felt like an eternity at that point because I was just getting one-offs every month and a half. And that's what happens when you miss second stage of Q school, that's what happens. That's the
I'll give you a little advice because you finished off very well at Hartford, finishing third. But if you're ever playing well and you have a tough Sunday there's an asshole that sits to the right of the 18th fairway that is the biggest heckler on the PGA Tour. And if you ever happen to run across him, I'd like to know who he is and what I've done to him because he does not like me.
What did he say?
He's a terrific young man.
A lot of things that we can say a lot of things on here, but this is not one of them. But he basically told me I'm the most worthless human on the planet and I should probably figure out something else to do for a living.
Sounds like that guy's got
paraphrased.
Yeah, that was a nice way.
Language.
And then the next year I was in the very similar situation and struggling again on Sunday, and he let me know that he did not forget about me and decided to bring it up again. So if you ever meet that guy,
we're trying to find him. Get him on the show. I want to have him on. I love this. I don't know what made him so happy, but I'd love to meet him. He seems like he's got it figured out.
Doesn't like me.
Seems like he's got peace in his life.
When you got the special temporary membership, that's what everyone's trying to do when they get sponsors.
Right.
But very few people actually do it. Was it? I don't want to say easier is not the right word, but you're like, damn, I actually did it.
Yeah, I think too, it's a cool way to play golf because it's so the margin for error is so slim. You're kind of just taking it day by day, and it kind of helped me train myself to just try to get better every day and know that whether it's Corn Ferry Finals or PGA Tour status or whatever, that I was just going to keep doing that process. And I tried to focus on that. I know that sounds cliche, but it really forced me into that mentality.
Well, one thing you don't have to improve is your club head speed. I saw it up close and personal today. You were fifth last year on the PGA Tour, a little over 124 miles an hour, I believe. First off, have you always just smashed it since you picked up a golf club?
Yeah, I have. And that's something.
Yeah, I have.
It's anyone that's
actually not that hard.
A bitch.
No, not that at all. But I think what over the last couple of years I've done a lot better job of is using it the right way and knowing when to use it. I don't go swing as hard on a consistent basis anymore. And I think too, stability wise, when I was 12 and 13, I could hit it forever, but I had literally no idea where it was going. But I honestly think that was a cool way to learn the game because I just kind of narrowed in my dispersion versus try to hit it farther.
Is that all right? Let's take your rookie year. You play a year out there. You come back. You go to Corn Ferry. Then you get back out there. What's the biggest difference between you as a player rookie year, you as a player now? Is it that?
Colt and I were talking about it a little bit today. I think more just as a human being, I'm more ready for the ups and downs of the profession because I wasn't really. It happened so fast. I don't think I had provided myself a foundation for these are the things I do when I struggle, or these are the things I do when my putting's off, or these are the things I do when my chipping's off, or these are the things I do with my ball striking. And now I have a pretty good formula, I think, of how to address those things when they get off.
As a rook, here's a little philosophical question for you. Toughest part of being a rookie on the PGA Tour, is it the step up and the caliber of competition, the guys you're playing, or is it all the off the course stuff learning to travel for the first time, being alone, that type of stuff, not knowing the golf course?
Yeah, I would say there's two things. I say, but the first is my rookie year and that sponsor exemption year was all during COVID. And that was a very lonely time, honestly, because I was alone a lot. I was by myself. But you learn again, you have the space and time to learn about yourself. So that was the hardest part for me, being out there, because a lot of my friends were on Korn Ferry. A lot of my friends were coming up on PGA Tour Canada, PGA Tour Latin America, and it was just, there was only 2 rookies that year. It was me and Eric Van Rooyen. So I didn't necessarily feel like the sense of community, maybe my expectations were too high. But that was the biggest challenge for me. And then I think the top level competition, now that I've had a year of Korn Ferry, the top, like, to win a golf tournament, I don't think is much different. But to come in 20th or 30th on the PGA Tour is way harder than the Korn Ferry, I would say. And that's where, I don't know how you feel, Colt, but like that's where
the top tier is different. There's those 20 guys that are just,
and that's where the big, being a professional golfer, in my opinion, becomes, that's the work part of it.
You go out there and you play, and you're like, I played pretty damn good this week, and I finished 36th.
Yeah.
It's like, like, I'm a long ways away from winning.
Yeah, and I think on the Korn Ferry Tour, I don't know, like, that might be 15th or 20th.
Yeah. I want to go back to the club head speed thing, because, I mean, you're a guy that just absolutely ships it, can hit it as far as anybody out there. But is there anyone, like, you get paired with and you're like, my God, this man can hammer it?
Yeah. I mean, guy I grew up playing junior golf with and college golf, Cam Champ. Like, and it's so effortless, like, visually. I remember we were playing the junior PGA up at in DC at Trump's course, and he it was like a 285 hole, 275 carry, and we're like 16. And I remember I was in the group behind him, and he pulls out like an iron, and he's like aimed over the water, and I'm like, huh? And he just ships it right on the green, and I'm like, holy moly! So that was different. I played him in SEC's match play, and I remember like just ripping my driver around Seaside at Sea Island, and him just poking his 3-wood right up next to me. I was like, okay, this doesn't happen very often.
And he hits that like low kind of cutter. Now it's like, if he wanted to optimize it, just like, I mean, people are trying to hit as high as they can, let it knuckle, do all that. I feel like he's got tons more if he wanted, which he doesn't need it, and probably doesn't want it. He's trying to hit it straight, but like if he wanted to, it could just be sickening.
100%.
I remember he got a sponsor exemption into Napa. I think he played well in the U.S. Open at Erin Hills, and then got a spot in Napa. He's from Sacramento, and they had like kind of the horseshoe grandstand there. Right. And I got in late, like on a Tuesday, and I was like, I'm gonna go play 9 holes. And I'm walking around the corner, and you can't see anybody on the tee, and you just hear this whop, and I'm like, that was different. Like, that was so loud, and I turned, and it's him. Yeah. And I played 9 holes with him, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I think too, like, you see some guys who don't necessarily like use it, and then a hole opens up and you're like, that was different. Like, because usually some guys just kind of cruise on 70-80%, and then they really ship it, and you're like, you know, it's pretty impressive watching some of the guys.
He's a different. What's your cruiser?
Like, I would say probably like at club head speed wise, 121, 122, 123.
And then you go, what do you got?
The highest I've ever gotten is 132. Like,
that's just no regard for it. Just
correct. And like, I would say if I was to step on one on the golf course, 128.
Yeah. Tell me, because you shared it with me today, but I thought the story about you playing with Brandon Matthews, who's a rookie who can. He's got the fastest club head speed registered on the PGA Tour right now.
Yeah,
drove that hole in freaking Indianapolis. Like, people don't, Victoria National drove it on 18, which the green's the width of this table.
People do not appreciate, like, I mean, because nobody's like, not a lot of people have played Victoria National, or it's not like a shot that people are going to register, but like, that is. It's
no one's ever tried it.
Like, isn't it 360 cover?
I mean,
they built that hole never thinking like, let's give guys a chance to knock it on.
No,
this thing.
I mean, I took my 400 and 200 and hit it out to the left every single day. Like,
didn't even cross your mind.
Well, because my driver, I was like, that's the narrowest part of the fairway. I don't really want to screw with that. Like, I'm gonna hit my 200 and 400 out here, and I saw that video, and I was like, that is absolutely absurd.
You told me y'all played together, and like he would hit some like his cruise and one fairway finders, and he was a little bit by you, but not much. But then he would step on one.
Yeah. I mean, like, if he connects and gets that flight and the spin rate right, I mean, it goes forever.
He's the longest dude in golf.
Oh yeah,
like real golf, not Kyle Berkshire. Like,
no,
we're talking
like if he, I mean, if Brandon,
like, what's he got? What's his? You said you're 128. If you go, what do you think he is?
I got no idea. Kyle Westmoreland, I was talking to him the other day about he went to Air Force Academy. When he said he came out of school, you know, he said he was swinging at like 136.
Jesus.
Like that.
Tell you what, Ryan Brim, I don't know if you played with him.
Yeah,
we played the Canadian Jigs together, and this was pre him kind of dialing in and getting on the PGA Tour. He just went and like messed around with long drive contests because he smashed it, right? So he's like, oh, I'll sign up for some of these, and he did it. And he told me like back in the day, he's like, yeah, I can get to 140 with a regular length, but now he like it could go anywhere. We played Canada. He'd play courses where he literally never hit it
because like I can't
can do it.
exactly remember what Kyle said, but he said that at that speed, like 1 degree of dispersion is like 85 yards.
It's over there.
Like
It's re-tee.
Reload.
Yeah.
you're not gonna. I mean, you can do it some places, but
Yeah.
no.
Who's that kid on Genkus Instagram all the time? You see him? Is it I might be messing up the name. Charlie Riders or something like that. Played at
I've seen the
USC, and then
video.
I think San Diego State too. They just posted him 144 mile an hour club head speed,
Dude,
and he's not a long drive guy. He's a real. And by the way, he's skinnier than he's.
But this is the
smaller
direction
than
it's going. Like, it's just going to continue. Like, in 5 years, 124 is probably going to be like 40th in club head speed.
Well, it
like,
used to
it's
be
scary.
like when it was 8 years ago. I quit. It was like 111. It was like tour average, right? Now what is it? 114, something like that. So it's gone up, and I think it's only going faster.
Yeah.
Like the increase right now.
Yeah, I mean it's
Jumping up.
Well, and I think it's going to continue. I mean, you play out there now, but from when I came out in 07, like, we probably play with rough very many weeks.
Yeah.
So when there's no rough, it's like, why the hell not just ship it?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think there is a point of like kind of diminishing returns though. If you're hitting it that far, like I don't care where you are, like it's hard to keep it on the planet.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know. I think at some point if somebody's able to do what Bryson was doing there for a minute and hit it that far that straight and not get hurt, like a lot of things got to go right for you to be able to do that. But if they're able to do that, I mean, it's going to be a different ballgame. But I have a hard time believing somebody's going to be able to swing it at
He's bringing it
135.
down now, but like that U.S. Open win he had was the perfect. It's like they made the fairways this wide. No one was going to hit him. I don't care how accurate you are. So like at that point, it's like, yeah, dude, I want to be as far down there as humanly possible, and I'll still hit it out of the rough as much as anybody else probably.
But with Bryson, I mean, obviously he's going the other way to help his body, protect his body.
He was pooping 7 times a day.
That's the problem. But, I talked to a very highly ranked player when he was going through all this, and he's like, if Bryson hits it straight, I don't know if we can beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 50 yards ahead of us. He's a great he's an underrated putter. He's a fantastic putter. But they're like,
all of his stuff's good.
If he hits it straight, I don't think we can beat him. And that's from a top 10 player in the world.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Dude, Paul Casey the other day, Whisper Rock, playing some tournament. I was watching him hit it. I was like, oh my God. Like, I played with Paul a lot. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen you hitting it harder, higher, further, all that. And he's like, yeah, dude, when you play every round with the guys out driving you by 50, like, you start trying to figure out new
100%.
stuff to do. And he's like, that doesn't, I was watching him hit. I was like, what's your speed? What are you at? And he's rattling off the numbers. He's like, dude, he's like, legitimately, that's not within 40 of where Bryson's at. I was like, I couldn't even fathom it.
And last place is 120 every week, so you might as well try
so
some shit.
you might as well fucking send
Might as well do whatever you want.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you were going to, like, breaking down your game to get to that next level, obviously, I mean, you're on the PGA Tour, you're on the highest level in golf, but to be a top player, what do you think you need to improve the most?
Yeah, I would say, primarily like my short game. I would say like, for the most part, my driver, my long clubs, that's where I kind of take advantage of courses. And I've spent a lot of time, I've spent a lot of time on my short game and putting the last couple of years, and it's kind of, this fall, like I didn't hit it that great. Because a lot of the tendencies I've been working on in my short game kind of translated into my full swing. So, I had like an open club face, a weak grip, that I was kind of just bunting the golf ball around this fall. But, I felt like I was a more well-rounded player. So just trying to, and then I think, in addition to my short game, figuring out how I can keep the long game where I want it to be and continue to develop the short game. So I think that's the balance that's kind of hard to find because fundamentally a lot of that stuff is opposite.
I mean, your fall, if you look at it, what do you got? 7 starts, 7 cuts made. You've held the lead twice. You held your first lead at RSM after the first, and then you did it again at Mayakoba, 62. Like the steps are happening.
Yeah, I think like you just got to, I felt like after I lost my card on the PGA Tour, it was the first time since I turned pro I had like stability. Like over Korn Ferry, like I had the whole season to kind of have room to develop, and I carried that momentum into the PGA Tour season this fall. So just trying to do that this new year, try to get some rest this offseason and kind of build back up throughout the year.
Sleeves played Mayakoba on the PGA Tour. He didn't shoot 62.
Probably heard about
Just
it.
tell him it's not that hard.
I tell you, the first two
Did
times.
you?
The first
you
two
probably
times,
didn't make $5,000 before you even teed off, though, dog. Like Daddy did. Daddy was. I was down there at Playa just. Who wants one? You want one?
Sleeves
Hola,
Monday,
¿cómo estás, bebita? Smash.
Sleeves Monday qualified, and Adams offered him $5,000 to switch driver 3-wood hybrid, and he took
We've
it.
never revealed the actual manufacturer. That's cats out of the bag. They said to give you $5,000 to play driver 3-wood hybrid, and I was like, done. Would have done it for 4, bitch. and I hit it in the shit. There's zero question that I had the most penalty shots in that golf tournament. The first day, someone sent it to me the other day. I beat Joel Damon, by the way. No big deal.
Did you not negotiate?
I shot
the
70.
$5,000?
I think I shot 2 over the first day, and I'm telling you, Sevy couldn't have shot 74 from where I was fucking hitting it.
Dude,
It was I was getting up 40-yard bunker shots around trees. Bogey, say bogey. I mean, just crazy.
First 2 years I played there, I finished like 52nd and then missed the cut, and I was like, I was headed down
It's
there.
too much fun down there too.
No, well, the place is amazing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was going down there, and I was like, this, on paper, it's not the best golf course for me.
It was narrow as hell. It's
You,
different than the time of year y'all
So
play.
you should have played it in February when the ball would bounce
bouncy,
40
bouncy,
yards.
bounce.
Dude, it was
narrow.
And blowing like a mother.
yeah. I mean, and so I went down there with like low expectations, but like I just kind of chipped it around the place, and
That's what you should do. I mean, a guy
Yeah.
like you probably
Yeah.
don't need dog that many unless
No.
you want it.
no, and then you just because the greens are so soft, like I just hit
Just darts.
plus one irons the whole week.
Like, is it 16 the par 3 with the beach?
15.
The people, all the, is it
15.
15 where all the people come over and stuff?
That's
I mean, that wind was off the ocean blowing 25 probably, something like that. And I mean, I wasn't fading it real. It's like, I'm going to hit 700 over those fucking people and just let it.
And
If I fade it, it's literally in the ocean.
You can't feel it on that tee either.
It was just, and it was coming in sideways. It'd land on, and I mean, it was a
And
different
the size of
animal.
your gallery, I mean, all
Dude,
those
all
people.
the bunnies, dude, the bunnies coming out.
Where in the people do I start?
Dude,
at?
I saw the group before me. They had nobody.
10th guy deep in the
The-
right
When I
side.
the
play,
kids
I
showed
pick out
up.
the one guy.
Let's just say the kids showed up. There's a few more bunnies in the gallery all of a sudden.
Now they're bunnies.
very interested in the kid
love
making bogue on that hole.
You mentioned you got to play with John Rahm final round at Travelers. Is there a guy like you've played with early in your career so far that you're just like blown away? Like, shit, man, this guy. I got some work to do to get to that.
Yeah, I think like I said, like I think the ones that stick out are the guys who have won majors and the guys who have major champions really. Like Patrick Reed and Jason Day are two guys I've played with. I played with Jason at Pebble and Patrick when he won at Torrey. We played in the final group on Saturday, and it was actually the day Patrick that drop issue at Torrey.
Oh, you let him get away with that, huh?
It wasn't my fault.
Jesus, you little pushover. Get in there.
It wasn't my
Regulate
fault.
that
Let's just
shit.
talk about this for a
It
while.
wasn't my
Regulate that
fault.
shit.
But he like Patrick's like competitive character and his short game was really, really impressive. Like the guy, I mean, you could just tell there's a different level of competition like every shot, and I think that's something like you always try to learn from people. And his short game, like he would miss hit shots, but he was always on the right side, and then when he would chip it up.
You can say whatever you want. You can like Patrick Reed. You can not like him. His short game is a freaking joke.
It's
man. Like
unbelievable.
him and Jordan
It's-
Spieth, it is just it's another level.
Sickening. The hands.
Yeah, those are the two people that I would say like I haven't I've only played with Rahm. I haven't played with like Afina or other major, like I haven't played with DJ or Koepka or Spieth or Rory or JT. I haven't played with any of those guys. But I mean, Patrick Reed and Jason Day are the two guys that really stick out to me because Jason, same thing. Like he'd miss a shot and you would think, I mean, how the heck is he gonna get this within 10 feet? And then he'd hit some shot to this, and I mean, that's just the level you got to be at.
Mm-hmm.
You're a young dude on the PGA Tour, but you're still learning. Like you're talking about playing with these guys and
Yeah.
watching how they do it. Are you a guy that'll go ask for advice and like you play with whoever, name it, and you're like,
Yeah.
man, hey, can you?
Yeah,
How do you do that, or what do you do to work
Yeah.
on your short game? Are you a question asker?
Yeah, I think it just depends on the person, right? Like I felt like Webb Simpson's been a guy that has been very approachable for me. I've called him for advice just about how to handle different things, like mentally. Are you looking at golf turns? Like I called him kind of after my COVID because I was like, hey, how do you handle like you look at it as every day as individual or kind of the two-day mentality and just asking guys questions like that I think have helped me. But I think it just depends on a lot of like approachability. If the guy is willing to kind of open the door for you, and then if they are, then I'm 100% willing to ask some questions. But at the end of the day, you got to make it your own.
Webb is such a mean guy too. I'm surprised he'd offer that up like that.
Yeah, he's
kind of a
Yeah,
standoffish.
He's,
type of
how
dude.
you're talking about
He's
like
a bully.
Steph is like annoying because he's so
Mm-hmm.
like Webb is like, I mean, how do you make like he's so nice.
He's the best.
Nice, gotta be
So
that little
nice.
nicest guys on tour thing or whatever.
There's
They
good
had,
people to
like,
look up to.
First off, that list we still need to.
Who was the
address
one that was
this.
ridiculous?
Gary Woodland is number 2.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what?
As
are
what?
We, as
This
the
is-
nicest? They rank the nicest guys on the PGA
I don't know.
Tour.
There's
Very
bribes
well.
going on.
And Gary paid somebody a lot. He was number 2. I think Webb might have been 1. I can't.
Well, I mean,
I got to
if
go
he's-
back and look at this
Cheston
list.
Hadley was like lower than he should have been.
Gary Woodland
was higher than
Chesson
Chesson
and Peter Malnati.
Yeah. There's payouts.
I don't know, Gary.
It's like the Academy Awards. Like, how bad you want to win this thing, dog? You know what I mean? What's it worth to you?
But do you have a normal Tuesday game? Do you have a group you like to play with? Or
Yeah.
Who's some of your guys you hang out with out there?
Yeah, I mean, on Sea Island, we have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So I play a lot with Spencer Ralston, John Augustine, Davis Thompson, Grayson Sig, Dalton Ward. I mean, there's a lot of guys on Sea Island. So it kind of just depends who's at home, who's wanting to play, whether you're playing at Fred or
Okay, I got to
Sea
ask you
Island.
this because I've asked every Sea Island guy this.
Confirm it.
And the question and the answer is always the same. Favorite person out of all the Sea Island guys to take money off of?
I know the answer. Because he gets.
Is it your answer?
I don't know. Let's find out. Is it Patton?
Yep,
Yeah,
that'd
that's
be
the answer.
That'd
You got
be the
it.
answer.
I know the answer.
Why him? Why is he the best?
I would say
Does
Patton.
he take it the worst?
Maybe that. Maybe like he's just like
That helps.
Patton. Like it's a great game every time you play with him, just because he loves the action and it's always fun. So I mean, Patton's definitely probably the like you're gonna get emotional investment out of Patton, which is like I love playing with Patton. I love being on his team because it's fun. I don't play with him a ton, but
The pain helps.
We've had
when they have to hand it over.
We've had Harmon, Harris
Kiz.
English. No, Kiz didn't play down there as much, but
thought it was-
immediately
Well, every
hesitation,
dude
Patton.
we've ever had.
yeah, those guys will play a lot together, and I know that's the answer. But I play. I don't play with Patton a ton, but I have experienced it.
You
So-
love the action too, though, huh?
Yeah, I
You
like
like the fire a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I like when we're playing golf, I like to play for something because I think it's just good. Like anytime you can get yourself to feeling comfortable on the golf course, it puts you in like a tournament, you know.
Better feeling in the world: heater on the golf course, heater on the blackjack table.
Mainly because I don't know what the second one feels like very often.
I don't know. I heard some stories.
no.
You might know at least for a minute.
Yeah, like I said, you must have talked to Decker. But he,
You know, I don't reveal my sources.
no, yeah, we.
But
Unless they
yes,
suck.
but yes, it was him.
If your sources suck, we reveal them. John Augustine.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I mean, it's fun as long as it's in the right way.
You need to link up with Hoagie. Have you ever fired with
No,
Hoagie
no.
anywhere?
See, that's
He's
I
more
don't
of a
know- I don't-
dice guy. You're
yeah.
more of a card guy. It sounds like,
Yeah.
but y'all two should probably
No, yeah,
convene.
it's out of my depth.
out of your depth.
Yeah,
Hoagie,
yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
think
not-
he taught Spieth how to play craps.
Yeah,
think
but
he
I don't like. I really don't. Every time I walk out of it, I don't enjoy it. Like
You're not up.
no.
That's why.
I've been up. Trust me. I was.
Yeah.
But like I don't. This last year, I really haven't I haven't enjoyed it as much. And I'll if everybody's watching a game, I'll partake. But after that, I'm not doing it by myself or anything.
Just always gamble and drink responsibly, especially when you're drinking
Always.
Especially
Of course,
with doers.
Do everything responsibly.
Doers, you got to drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Do everything responsibly, but
Yeah.
and do it hard. Hard responsible. You know what I mean? You're a gin guy, right? You like to fold a few?
Oh, Jen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
gin drinking.
Yeah.
Doers,
Dude,
obviously,
you got-
only drink doers.
Your
but
stories are so person specific. I know exactly who they come from. It's
Well, I'm
amazing.
just. That was just a generic question. This
I love Jen.
Behind it.
Jen's fun. I
let's
play with
get
my
into that.
assistant coach in college. We play in the hotel. I've played on plane ride.
Playing tournaments when you're out there. Are there enough
Yeah.
guys that'll go to
Yeah,
the room?
I mean, mainly honestly, I played with my caddy. One of my best friends caddied for me for 3 or 4 months last year, and we'd play almost every night. And it's
your
just
caddy's good.
my,
You should get Wyndham and John.
Well,
Group
yeah.
game.
I was gonna
my current caddy, we only played once, and I'm 0-1. But
okay.
but my buddy who was caddying for me 3 or 4 months, we would play all the time, and
That'd be.
I'll
Yeah,
give
it's
you
fun.
I'll give you some good advice. You know, if you never want to have to pay for your lodging the rest of the season, find Scott Harrington each week, play him and some gin. You'll
The
be
Lair.
fine. The Lair.
You might get 22 cards in and be like, oh, I have gin. After you gin him, you'll be like, oh shit, I have gin.
You'll never
You
pay
I
for a hotel
lost
again.
I lost to my mom in gin yesterday. So
Your mom plays a little.
yeah. So
Maybe that's where you get your
God
skills
bless
from.
her.
yeah, I mean,
God bless her.
it's just looking for a victory.
We got to go back real quick to Vanderbilt,
Right.
Because I got to ask about what you majored in. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
human
Yeah.
and organizational development.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's-
How do you develop organization?
It's probably the second.
Exactly.
It's
Explain that
it's
to me.
legitimately probably top 3 or 4 popularity wise major at Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
Why
hard
is
to
that?
believe
Why is that? Because
they got a lot of athletes.
yeah, well, we do have a lot of athletes, but it's a good major. It was it's a well respected.
If you had
major,
to
Colt.
summarize what that major teaches in one sentence, how would you do it?
I would say how to organize and optimize human talent in organizations and learn how.
So
to
just the name of the major. Just with a couple other words with optimize in there.
I figured if I threw in like the biggest word I knew, then we would,
Just
be off to the races.
optimizing human organization.
No, but the nickname
development.
is. I told Colt this today. The nickname is HOD. Hand over the diploma.
Yeah, every school, every school's got one.
But-
Formally communication.
But I'm telling you, man, like people, like they haven't happened super often, but I've been in situations where people like, what'd you major in at Vanderbilt? I'm like HOD, and they're like, wow, that's a great major, and I'm like,
Oh, you must be really smart.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Don't
I
talk
am.
to Colt, but thank you.
Yeah, I am. I like talk to you after the round about developing your organization
Yeah.
a little bit
And optimizing.
and obviously optimize.
We had Gary Woodland on here, and he got a degree in philosophy, right?
No,
Sociology.
sociology. Yeah.
Sociology. And I read off the 3 founding fathers of sociology. I said, what do these names mean to you? And he's like,
Nothing.
I have no idea.
I don't know. They're
And
probably
I was
all
like,
dead.
Well, they're the founding fathers of sociology. She goes, oh, God.
Yeah, I majored in history. All right, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. What does it mean? I don't know. I
Yeah.
have no
Oh,
idea.
oh.
Never heard of them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like
that's
it.
a
Hand
good
over
one.
diploma. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, HOD.
I took a couple
bless
of
you.
sociology classes with John Augustine. Actually, we took he
The outdoorsman.
He was an HOD and audible.
Yeah.
to
In between hunting
sociology.
trips, you squeeze in a few classes.
Between my outdoorsman hobbies.
Should we get to the E9?
Let's do the E9.
Okay, E9. Here we go. Sleaze seems very excited.
I'm interested. I'm an interested, guy. We
He's
got a
got
very
his
interesting dude
his
here.
sources.
He
and,
does.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll see if you can guess who gave them to me.
Yeah.
We asked this to everyone, though.
Okay.
You can be anyone for a day, dead or alive.
Mm.
Who would it be?
Anybody dead or alive? I mean, for a day, like, can I? Yeah, I would say. I mean, Michael Jordan for a day, like in his prime, would be unbelievable.
Jordan, Game 6.
Yeah,
Oh.
like Game 6 against the Jazz.
Don't be the flu game, though.
No.
That didn't look fun.
You could optimize the shit out of Jordan with that talent.
How
It's
many-
already.
every time I see Drew, I'm gonna get
Optimized.
optimized.
He's already borderline, already all the way optimized. All you have to do is optimize him a little bit more, dude, and develop the organization, and you'd be there. I'm gonna add it. This is a bonus ball question. Colt and I have been having, and I think Gary got involved in this at your nuptials. New hypothetical
Oh,
question:
God,
if
this
you
is
had to
so
lose
dumb.
one eye or one thumb, what would you pick?
One eye.
You never have that for the rest of your
Can
life.
we first explain that he started this off by, would you rather be blind or
Yeah.
lose both your thumbs? And he's convinced losing your thumbs would be worse than being blind.
I'm gonna go with one eye because it'd help my outdoorsman hobbies.
You could still. You only
I
shoot
might
with
hit
one
a-
eye.
I might hit a duck. if
Yeah.
I-
Well, losing two eye, being blind, like that's probably the worst thing you
Oh,
could be.
100%.
So I had to rein it in. But I'm telling you, dude, tape your thumb down with some for an hour one time and tell me how you live.
All right,
It's
you
tough.
do it for a day.
When have you done that?
I've never have because I just know the value of a thumb, dude.
I
don't
think
want
you
to go
should do it
without
one day.
One day?
Yeah.
Come in here. Oh, hey, look. Let me hold on. Oh, can't get it, dude. Hold on. Gotta go over here. But guess what? Oh, look, one eye. Watch this.
It's great.
Easy.
And wait till I come from over there and
telling you, dude,
blindside you and knock your ass
People
out.
undervalue the thumb.
I would say
It's the most underrated thing in the world. The thumb.
How often do you?
It's a
think
lot
about
like
that?
me, but very underrated.
This is
You know what I
this
mean?
is what goes on in that massive dome of his.
I got a bigger head than he does. I guarantee you.
Let me see that.
Put that hat on,
Let me
let's
see
see.
that lid, dog. I'll be fucking impressed if this is too big. Oh my god,
Wow.
it's like a glove.
I told
It's
you.
like a glove.
Damn.
Okay, now you are smart as shit. HOD.
H-O-T.
I get it. Now you
baby.
probably validate.
Damn, that's
that's
impressive.
big. That's pushing 8. You're pushing 8.
I think I'm over.
Yeah, I haven't worn a fitted in 22
I don't
years,
try
but
it.
they don't make them that big.
Button?
The second to last, dude. The last one is embarrassing.
Yeah, that's why I can't wear. You can't wear snapbacks because it's like I'm on the last
The
one,
last
dude.
one, like if you walk outside with the last one, you're like, what am I doing?
Wear it backwards, too. That'll look even
Next
better.
Dude, I went into when we were down in Cabo. I walked in the shop and I went through. I did not buy a hat because the only way it fit was the last button.
Yeah,
By the way,
that's why you can't wear them, dude.
Yeah,
Puka now makes fitted
Yeah.
double XLs.
dude. Puka's. The
They
problem
un-
is you can't buy. There's a Puka boxer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
special
those are
gifts in
coming.
there.
You can't
dial you
buy
up.
a Puka hat unless you have your own. I looked it up. Like unless it's like your own logo, right? Or like if you.
I don't know. I just know at Wisbrock they have double XL.
I know,
Pukas
but
now.
you can't like unless
They
like
fit.
you can't go online to Puka.com and like buy a Puka hat. It has to have like a logo.
Oh, really?
Because that's what I looked it up because I was like, this is the best fitting hat.
They understand
Other
the
than Travis
plight.
Matthew.
The
Travis
plight
Matthews
of
hats are the
fat-headed
best.
man.
Travis Matthew, nice clothing.
Yeah,
That's
the
good.
best
That's
hat.
good. But you're on what, second to last?
Second to last.
Second last, you can get away with.
Yeah.
You don't look like
Travis
it's not
Matthews
the
and-
last one, just hanging on
incredible.
for dear life. All right. So you also said one thumb you would lose, for the record.
No, I.
Oh, you'd lose an eye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See.
I'll be the eye patch
Obviously,
guy.
the guy with a huge brain.
Like I
says
said, you
freaking
totally
eye.
changed this before.
Well,
it was
yeah. The
completely
other way,
blind or
no
both
one
thumbs.
would say I'll be blind. You have to make it.
But the one I think too is like I feel like you can do most things with
you
one
can get
eye.
good at stuff.
Yeah.
With one eye.
Like with the
Guess
thumb.
What? Oh, hey, go hit a golf ball. I just chopped off your left thumb. Not happening. You're not swinging at 128. Guarantee that. Guaranteed.
You could get binoculars half off as well.
That's true, dude. You only need one of those old. You don't need sunglasses. You just need that one little thing, whatever that's called.
Trying to save money.
Like all the
here,
old,
guys.
like Ben Franklin used to wear, or whatever. All right, now that we're getting to the hard hitting questions, best thing to put in your body after a morning workout: protein shake or a carrot cake muffin?
Protein shake.
Oh, that's interesting because been informed by reliable sources that after every morning workout, you forgot about this, dude.
Yeah, I did until you just told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You eat carrot cake after your workout?
No, man, it's
No,
not. It's not like that. Yeah, well,
Sounds
Don't
like
get
it's-
mad at me. I had nothing to do
We're
with
just
this.
we're just the vehicles. We're the vessels
God
for this.
bless America.
Carrot cake after the workout, huh?
No, it wasn't after. So,
Or before?
well, your man didn't run very much in high school. So when I got to school,
Heard about that.
it was dark for a couple months, and so as a 19-year-old, like, okay, how do I create like a reward for myself? So if I didn't get absolutely lapped in the running, that night at the mini mart, grab a little carrot cake thing and be like,
The mini mart.
good work, Gordon.
Yeah, you did it. Hey, buddy, another one down.
Yeah, another one down.
Yeah, let's wipe out all the progress and go back to 0 for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I love
it. I get roasted for that one.
Yeah, carrot cake.
Yeah.
Post workout.
Yeah.
I don't see any flaws in it.
No.
This isn't one
Look
of my
how
questions.
strong you are.
With both thumbs.
Look at you. Yeah, easy to eat.
Easy to
Try getting
open.
that fork like this.
Yeah.
Can't.
This isn't one of my questions, but I just want to ask it. At the end of the day, who's going to go down in Vanderbilt golf history as the better Gordon? Will Gordon or Gordon Sargent?
Shit.
This would be a battle. I mean,
I'm gonna be real honest with you. He's got 1 year under his belt, and he's won a national championship, and he's a first-team All-American. I did the set ladder part. I did not do the first part, and I don't, who knows how long he's gonna be there, but I'm gonna go with the younger.
he is good.
He's very good, and I played with him. So my aunt and uncle are friends with his parents, and when I was like 15 or 16, maybe I was just at Vanderbilt, they asked me, they're like, do you mind going and playing golf with this like 12, 13-year-old? I was like, yeah.
Show
sure.
the kid around.
Yeah, show the kid around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then gets out there. I'm like, oh yeah, he's pretty good. And then, my junior, senior year at Vandy, coach is like, yeah, we're recruiting this kid Gordon Sargent. I'm like, yeah, I played with him.
You should.
I'm like, he's pretty solid. And then he showed up, and I was like, oh, he's about 2 feet taller than he was last time, and he hits it.
190 something.
Yeah,
Ball speed.
I told Colt, I saw this on your guys' deal. Gordon, one day I had heard about how hard he was hitting it, so I sent him a picture of like one of my ball speeds, and I was like, "Who's your daddy?" Just joking with him, you know what I mean? And I knew there was a very good chance he would send something back that's faster. About 5 minutes later, he sends something back. It was like 131, 194. I was just like, try it when you're my age, kid.
Go do your homework. Daddy's home.
Yeah. And he was
go to your room.
Yeah, he was like,
It's a joke.
dude, he hits it so. I mean, he's just like, good family, good player. Like,
Yeah, we had him on. He's the
Just-
nicest dude of all. He
got-
does owe us some drop score interviews.
Those are great.
They keep
Have you
winning.
heard that?
I think they win all the shit. So,
So
there's
in
never
high
any
school, I
scores.
guess, it's 5 guys, 4 scores count.
Yeah.
So whoever got thrown out had to do an interview afterwards about
he
why
get
their
dropped?
score. No. Just
No,
they
that
did
was
this
like
on their
their
high school team.
running thing, which
And
is
I was
a
like,
great idea.
this is great. This should be like around all colleges. Like
Yeah.
if your score gets
I've
thrown
never
out,
heard that before.
You have to drop score interviews. I think it'd be a great little show.
Talked to him a while back, and he's like, I think he was still like running it by the coach. The coach doesn't
should
want to like
trademark it.
embarrass the kid, half to death for
It's pretty funny.
getting
though.
dropped.
Play
But it's
better.
a great exactly. There's one easy
Yeah.
easy fix to
Problem
that.
you run into is like if somebody's getting dropped the whole year.
Every time, like,
I mean, like-
here's Jimmy again. Tell us about the 80 piece.
Jimmy, how's your last 24 hours?
Yeah,
Your
start
guys
on
at home
number
must
one.
really suck because we've interviewed you 7 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a bonus one. My next one, because I know you have an opinion on this, and I know this is going to air after the game, so we're just going to see how good you are. But my man over here, Fiesta Bowl, Michigan, TCU.
Yeah.
Give me a little
Say
prediction.
the right thing.
So my sister went to TCU. We just talked about this. I got I got a soft spot for TCU, but I'm also a Harbaugh guy. I like that guy. I'm not for no particular reason other than I like him. I think Michigan is gonna pound them.
Pound. All right.
boy.
Define pound, and we can. I know we just talking about you liking the fire. Define
10
pound.
points.
I'll take
Over
10
10
all
points.
day. Bet right now.
So
You
we
see
have
how
a
I'm
bet.
using my thumb? That's a solid grip, ain't it? Yeah, hey. See? Doesn't work. Another thing.
So our Sirius XM show, our producer Mike McCann's a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
And they have this little bet. So if Michigan wins,
Oh, yeah.
Sleaze has to do an episode of Subpar dressed as Jim Harbaugh. So
Well,
we're
I have
talking
to-
Dickies,
Khakis.
Which
glasses,
is bullshit because he
everything.
doesn't have
The
any skin in
pen.
the game. And it's our producer from our other
Hey,
show.
so I saw him.
But it's great. It's
and
a
I have to
fun
donate
bet.
to their NIL fund.
Yes.
Which I'm going to say, go get the shittiest bastard you could. Go get you a kicker that can't kick.
Well, we were in the Augustine and I were having lunch in some airport. It was right as the PGA was going on. It was the last round Tiger with Drew, and in that restaurant airport, Jim Harbaugh walks in, and he was wearing like green sweatpants, like an I can't even remember what the t-shirt,
character.
but the t-shirt was like totally unrelated to Jim Harbaugh, and a PXG fanny pack. And I was just, and just like glasses, like no hat, like no trying to hide who he is. And I was just like, what is Jim Harbaugh?
You're wearing a
He's a
PXG
fan.
fanny
We're
pack.
not losing the dudes that wear a fanny
You're wearing
pack.
a
I can
fanny
tell you
pack
that.
if they lose.
Hey, just a little side note, fun trivia. Jim Harbaugh 0-2 against the Horned Frogs.
Really?
Where that up.
was
when
he
he's
like
at Stanford getting bodied. Next question, submitted via a big fan of yours. Are you the slowest stadium runner in the history of Vanderbilt?
No, absolutely not.
Who's slower?
I don't know, but somebody.
Somebody. I have it on good authority that you.
No,
We're
I
not
really
fast.
don't.
You're
a
a good athlete. I'm surprised why he's such a
I
slow
took
runner.
pride. I took pride. No, I'm way faster than I am now than I was then, and I don't know why that is. I like. It's still a chip on my shoulder. Like I go to the treadmill and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna work
dial this up to 5.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of a walking. No, I mean I was consistently in the bottom 4 or 5 on our team, 3, 4, but like I took pride in not coming in last.
And when you're
Maybe I did.
So
I probably
when you're
last,
SEC
it was
Player of
that
the
guy.
Year, guess what? You'd be like last again. What are you gonna do? Bench me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good news is running
Go get
doesn't
him.
matter in golf.
no.
No,
No.
very rarely.
Our
Unless
coach-
you're,
the
unless
guy
you're
who's
chasing daylight.
The guy who's submitting that question.
Who do you think that was?
Carson Jacobs. No.
Shit. Well, I got 2 sources. That's one of them.
Yeah. Well, Carson would. The way I know
was
it's him is he would encourage me as he was running like on sprints. He would be running back and I'd be running forward, and he'd be like, "Come on, Gordon, you got this." And he's like, chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, I can't breathe." And
That's surprising. I wouldn't have picked you as the slowest dude.
yeah, but
on
I think
Vanderbilt.
like,
Me?
and
Yeah.
and if
I
I
mean,
went
that would make sense.
if I went back to Vanderbilt's team now, I think I would be in the
They'd
top
dominate.
half. Like we had some really fast guys. Like we had.
we had a really,
Some really fast guys when I was
golf
there.
team.
We
Just
did.
Never
Slow
heard that before.
We're better at golf now than we were when I was there. But like there was a couple guys that Carson. There's no way he could say that I didn't beat every time.
Okay, just
Our coach was,
maybe he just said you never won.
Yeah.
our coach was mad at us once because we played bad, and so he said everyone's gonna run a mile, and that time's gonna count towards qualifying.
Oh, God.
And I was like, so cool. You don't want me to go to the next tournament? He goes, everyone but Colt, their time counts towards qualifying. Colt's doesn't. I was like, perfect.
So
We're good.
we got back from one tournament and we had missed we lost to Florida by 1 in a tournament, and Limbaugh was just so mad because it was because of our putting inside 10 feet or whatever you want to call it. So we have a bad putting practice. He throws a ball down. He's like, every putt you miss from right here, it's a mile, and I'm running with you. Well, like 8 guys go and like 6 or 7 miss.
Oh God.
And he's like, all right, well, we're dropping the ball again. Pick 2 people, and if they make it, we're subtracting a mile. And but we ran 5 miles on a track indoor with no music. We had to carry there was like 4 of us. Speaking of my major, we had to carry a sheet of paper and like check off every time we ran around the track because you're out there for it was 30 laps or something like that.
Gross.
Yeah, that's
No thanks.
a lot.
No.
Did you ask that or did I? Or what
You
are we
did.
on?
It's my turn. So back to this outdoorsman thing. So like you went hiking. Like was there camping involved?
Yeah, I've been camping, but not like that. I mean, it depends on what time. No. No.
That's
I've
a
been
quick
camping.
flip-flop.
I've been camping, but no.
Well, my
Can you
question was
make
going
a
to be.
fire?
Hell no.
My question was going to be like, which PGA Tour player would struggle with like the outdoorsman life that you have?
Oh, I got an answer.
I can feel pretty confident most PGA Tour players would be okay with my outdoorsman
Okay.
life because it's not very outdoorsman. Like when I went on a trip with 2 buddies from college and we went in an RV and it's not, I mean,
Oh, so you're inside.
Yeah.
That's great.
we got locked out.
Who
a
would have
couple
been your
times,
answer?
He lives right next to you. Plays the same spot. Can you think of it?
Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm pretty good at this game.
Wow, you're really sharp. With
Bougie
that.
Keith.
Yeah. Bougie. Show up in the Gucci loafers. All right, where are we going? No, dog. You need boots.
Yeah. I don't know who I would pick. It'd have to be maybe a California guy. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some softies out here out west.
Maybe Bo Hostler.
Oh, the cat man.
Big Bo. Show up in that suede though. You're gonna
Maybe
be
the Bo
warm
show.
for days.
That's an unwarranted shot at Bo.
The show. We love Bo here.
I love Bo too.
We're a pro Bo podcast.
I'm pro Bo.
Oh, of course. Here's another one. Ever flown on JetBlue?
Yeah,
You like it?
that's playing gin right
You
there.
like it?
Is it a good airline?
Yeah,
For
no,
you?
JetBlue was fun. Yeah, it was fun when you pay for somebody else's flight and then they absolutely rake it from you in gin. No, that's a fun experience.
Is that your only flight on JetBlue because of that?
It might be.
A little
But
superstitious.
yeah,
He got bodied in gin.
yeah, body.
Bodied by his caddy. Quit. You tell it.
Yeah, we were on the final round of second stage last year or something. Got rain delayed, and so I had to buy a new flight for both of us to Nashville because it was homecoming weekend, and we went back and we played gin. And you ever seen those telephone booth fights? I thought that's what was gonna happen on JetBlue. I was in the window, he was in the middle seat, and after 25 minutes, there was just no talking for the rest of the flight.
Heard it got real.
Yeah, it got real. There was, but I mean, yeah, there was some hostility.
A couple competitors.
Just-
you know what I mean?
just
Going
competing.
toe to toe.
just competing.
Mutual respect, but
Yeah.
also some hatred.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's how it goes.
You're just competing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Heard there was almost blows being thrown on
That's what I'm saying.
JetBlue.
You ever
Might
seen?
be on the red flag list at JetBlue.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson beat the shit out of a guy. Will Gordon
Yeah.
beat us a caddy because they're
Will
playing gin.
Gordon? Yeah, you're going to need a different airline,
Yeah.
dog.
All right, next one. You're a big Carolina Panther guy.
Yeah.
Okay, better fashion sense, Cam Newton
Oh, God.
or Rory Sabatini?
Oh,
There's only one.
I mean, I'm a Cam Newton.
Awesome.
I mean, there's no one
Yeah.
like it.
No, I mean, but Cam correct me if I'm wrong, but the guy pulled it off for while he was MVP.
Well, I mean,
and
Do
then
whatever he wanted.
I think he pulled
Yeah.
it off to the extent you can pull off that weird shit he was wearing. It's
But
like,
after it's with anything, after he was not good, people are like, what are you doing?
it's like Willy Wonka
Yeah.
meets friggin' Elton John. I mean, it's just all, his daughter went into a Halloween store and was like, here, wear this.
Yeah.
Just throw it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You're a big Cam guy, though, huh?
I was huge when but I just ride, I was a huge Baker guy for the 6 weeks he played for the Panthers.
Big Derek Anderson guy?
Yeah, we talked about Derek
Talked about
today.
him up there.
Yeah. I mean,
Gotta be DA guy. DA built Cam. Basically.
no, he pretty much did. I mean, he was that guy. He had Cam would get, he played well those years we made the playoffs, and Cam would get hurt too.
DA was ready, dude.
By the way.
Spit out the chew and run in the game, hand it off a few times, trot back out.
Love Ron Rivera.
Oh, dude.
Awesome.
Riverboat
Ron, man. I know he's with the Commanders now, which I don't like, but I love him. DA had me out to practice one day, and I got to meet Coach. What a cool dude he is.
I've never
Huge
met
fan.
him, but I've never heard one bad thing
Yeah,
about him.
huge fan of that guy. And he beat cancer. Love that
Yeah.
guy.
All those
So-
dudes that played for him, they all seem to
Yeah.
like him.
He seems great. He's
Yeah.
done. I like watching. He's just a hard nosed football coach. I love.
He's cool.
Panthers bring in Cutler. Get him out of reality TV, drag him back out there. Slang it.
I don't. That's another Vanderbilt guy right
That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
No, I have no.
He uses a Carolina Panther ball marker, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so this year I was I got a Panthers poker chip and a Vanderbilt poker chip, and I was Thursday, Friday I'll use my Panther. I'm not much of a superstitious person, but I was Thursday, Friday I'm gonna use Panthers. Saturday I'll use Vanderbilt. Sunday I'll use the Panthers.
That makes sense.
And I was game days, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, every Saturday with that Vanderbilt marker, I mean, I just didn't play good.
75.
I mean,
Look, yeah.
even par, 1 over, 2 over. I'm
You're out.
halfway through the fall, I was Panthers every day. I don't know why that makes sense because
You got a Vanderbilt baseball chip.
yeah,
Maybe
it had to be
use that,
very
but
specific.
It can't be football.
Vanderbilt men's golf,
Yeah.
poker
Men's
chip.
golf,
Just get one
baseball.
with Gordon Sargent's face on
Some
it.
other shit
Women's
you guys
tennis.
are good at.
Yeah, women's bowling, something
Yeah,
like that.
one of the other things
Yeah.
y'all dominate, but it ain't,
Yeah.
it ain't football.
We're coming on the come up in football now.
Are you? When's
Yeah.
that start?
Yeah.
Tell me when it
When
We're on the
starts.
come up.
when's that
We won
happening?
2 SEC games this
That's
year.
monster. That's
Yeah.
the come up. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
You're not going down.
Just get on board before the train
I'm
gets
on
rolling.
board. I almost went to Vanderbilt, by the way.
They didn't let you in.
I couldn't make it through that HOD. I couldn't do organize development enough or develop organization enough. And they said,
Couldn't
hit the
optimize.
road, kid.
Optimize.
Optimize. He's
No,
already
that's not the name of the
I
major.
know, but you got to optimize.
Well, that's what I was trying to do it, and I
forgetting
and I
his-
bounced. All right, last one from me. True or false question?
Were you extra nervous at Q School in Savannah, Georgia, because you thought you might see El Chapo in the gallery?
These sources are so obvious. So this is actually
actually great.
This is actually great. So my buddy, he was like, he texted one of my other buddies. He's like, how many like random trivia facts do you think I can get Will to believe about Savannah, Georgia that just factually aren't true? And so like for like 5 days, he would be like, did you know the biggest alligator farm in the world is in Savannah, Georgia? And I'd be like, really? He'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, okay. And then he, just like absurd things. He told me that El Chapo was on the run in Savannah, and I was just like, sure. Absolutely.
Said he believed everything he fed him, dude.
The only one I caught him on, after like 4 days, he said Nick Saban was born in Savannah. I was like, no, he wasn't.
You knew that one?
Yeah, I knew that one. But
where's Nick born?
I have no idea what it was.
Not Savannah.
It wasn't Savannah, Georgia.
He didn't have that accent.
No, yes, but that was brutal. Yeah, that was. I mean, he's got a list on his phone. I think it's
Yeah.
like 27 things.
He said 99% of the shit. He's like, I was like, when will he finally call me out on
Yeah.
some shit? He's like, Chapo, no problem. He's like, really, dude? Chapo hides out here?
Savannah, Georgia.
You think he'll
Genius.
show up? You think he likes golf? Probably want to see me play. That's all.
All right, last one.
Oh god.
Your life's on the line.
Yeah.
It's only one way to save it. Okay, you get to pick. You have to make an 8-footer, or Steph Curry shoots a 3 for you. Which one are you choosing?
There's 8-footer straight uphill.
It's gonna break a little left or right.
What kind of green? What kind of
Like
grass?
Steph just
Perfect green.
Steph,
But listen, Steph Curry gets one shot. You get. I mean,
is he guarded? Like
just no wide
NBA
open
3?
NBA 3. You got an 8-footer, which is right around 50%. Well, we can make it 7.5, so it's exactly 50-50. Do you want the ball in your hands or do you want it in Steph's?
I know the answer.
I mean, I want Steph to shoot an open 3.
Open 3, Steph is like 74%.
I mean, like you said,
There's
you
a
said I'm
question.
50%. Steph on an open 3 and like practice is like 92%. Like,
yeah.
Well, then you should take
I
Steph.
think that's the right answer.
I'm trying to optimize my.
I was
chances
about to
there.
say that shit paid off.
Way to
for you. You're
optimize it.
optimizing the talent
Yeah.
right there.
We've said that word way too many times.
And you're a hell of a guy. Hell of a guy.
Can't believe
Willie.
you don't want the ball in your hand.
Thanks, guys.
Dude, that was fun.
Hey, we got to know who to get the rock to.
Will
sometimes.
Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, that was Will Gordon joining us on Golf Subpar. Here's one thing. If your name involves Gordon, you should go to Vanderbilt.
Good
It's going to
time.
lead to very good success in the game of golf.
Good time right now to have the name Gordon. It's kind of like Cameron or Cam right now in the world of golf. There's a lot of those guys showing up.
By the way, Gordon Sargent got a special invite to the Masters.
Saw that.
That is going to be cool to see him going around Augusta
Think it's
National.
too long for him?
I think he can handle it.
I think he'll get it around all right.
But what a it's been a short career so far for Will Gordon, but really cool. I mean, grew up getting to play golf with Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Comes out the Travelers Championship with very little experience on the PGA Tour. Finishes third, and we asked him, who like impresses him the most. I guess when you're one of the longest guys out there, it's pretty hard to be impressed. But no surprise, he says Cam Champ.
Yeah, I mean, that kid coming out, there's just so much more in that tank. It's disgusting. And when a guy like Will says that, who's one of the longest, and he just is in awe of his length and his speed, you're like, yeah, that's a little bit different. Also, good to firm up the fact that he is a big outdoorsman.
Huge
Which a lot of
outdoorsman.
people say, I was like, you don't even know the guy. Like, yeah, he's a big outdoorsman. He likes hunting and fishing and all the stuff.
Sleeps in tents all the time.
Apparently doesn't do any of that stuff. So good call. Get to know your
Thanks
friends.
a lot, John Augustine.
Yeah, Wyndham, Nitwit.
All right, well, let's get to some picks this
Can
week.
I say this about Will Gordon too? He came on here. He picked Michigan. We had a little friendly bet, friendly hundo, I think is what we had. Totally forgot about it. I had so many people betting Michigan against me.
You
in
should
this
write
thing that
these
I
things
forgot.
down.
He texted me. He was like, "Hey, dude, I owe you 100." Venmoed it over. That's a man of his word.
Nice, honest man.
I would have just totally let it skate. Forgot all about it.
This is why you write these things down, Sleaze.
Yeah, but what if we
Little
lost?
calendar.
Then I would have been like, they gotta come.
Then you throw
find
the piece of paper
And
away.
they gotta come find me. But like, I don't even remember doing that.
All right, well, we're on to the Sony Open. Second week in Hawaii over at Honolulu. Really fun golf course. Short, pretty narrow fairway. Some of the hardest fairways to hit on the PGA Tour, but it doesn't really matter here. This is one of those golf courses where anyone can win. We've seen guys from Jimmy Walker, Justin Thomas, to guys like Corey Pavin, Fred Funk. I mean, any type of game wins here.
Yeah.
It is a
Hideki,
blast.
yeah.
Very laid back, relaxed week. Hideki hit one of the best 3-woods ever
Right into
last
the
year in the
sun.
playoff, right into the sun. That's the only thing I didn't like about that place was finishing into the sun.
Yeah, tough. That's all. That's
why you
easy to come out of that and leave it out right.
That's why you finish on 9 on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you don't have to worry
You
about the
never
sun.
have to worry about that sun.
But actually, how about this? Tom Kim is your favorite this week, which, I mean, he's playing great. He finished 5th last week. He played great in the fall. He is one of the most popular guys in the game of golf right now. He's got the swoosh head to toe now. But
Everyone's raving about him. Everyone loves him. He's babysitting for Jordan now. He's got a little side hustle, which is nice.
$10 an hour probably.
Yeah, that's a good gig for him. Make a little extra coin.
I will say this. Before I got here, I was thinking, I was like, you know who I like? It's not going out on a limb, but I was like, I like Tom Kim this week. Now I look at the odds. He's the favorite. I'm like, damn it.
There you go. Didn't take long for him to become betting fave.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go with the guy who's kind of all over the place last week. Had some good, had some bad, but hung in there. I'm going Jordan Spieth, 15-1.
Okay. There you go. Jordan's
Got to get over those short putts, though, Jordan.
I never know what to think. I'd rather see him over an 18-footer than a 4-footer.
Yeah.
It feels like. It's strange, but
I believe I heard that
still like him with the wand,
he
believe it or
missed
not.
the most putts inside of 3 feet on the PGA Tour last year, 9.
And when you ask people like who's the best putter in the world, it's like, oh, Jordan. Jordan comes up all the time.
Yeah, but the short
He
ones
makes the
are an
ones you
issue
don't
'cause-
expect and then misses some of the ones you'd think are just layups.
So I'm going Jordan Spieth, 15-1, just because of the odds.
All right, I like you. I like what you're thinking here. I like guys that played the week before. They got a little bit of a head start. Found out a little. Most guys have taken a little breather heading into this week. These guys got to knock some rust off. I'm going with Brian Harmon, going off 26-1. He's coming off a 16th at the Tournament of Champions, kind of middle of the pack. Nothing.
Not
great,
the best
nothing
golf course for him.
Yeah, exactly. Not the best golf course for him. Now he heads across to another island and a golf course that you would think would be better for him, but just Harmon's been going, man. Like he's been playing some really, really good golf, and the fact that he got to, like I said, knock the rust off for a week earlier, I'm going to go Brian Harmon, 26-1.
All right, for my dark horse, I'm going with the best putter on the PGA Tour. This is a place where, like I said, everybody misses fairways. It's hard to hit fairways. You just got to get it on the green. Give yourself a look. Nobody rolls it better. I think he's going to win at some point. He's going off at 50-1. Denny McCarthy.
Yeah, rolls the rock. Just hit the green. He's having a hell of a kind of a come up right now too, Denny McCarthy. I'm going to go with the guy that I just like his ball striking so much. Hard to hit fairways. Everyone's going to miss greens, things like that, but this guy's got about the most repeatable ball flight I've seen. The putter is a question, so he needs to get that going a little bit, but Emiliano Grillo, plus 5,000 on the week. So
That's also 50-1.
that's a nice little hit on a hundo. Just love the way he hits the ball, dude. Good fairway. Like, move it both ways if he needs to. He has that little fade over and over, but it's just auto. Watching him on the range, every time I see him, I'm like, why don't you win a lot more? I think it's just the putter, but if you're going to have a week.
No, it's 100% the putter.
If you're going to have a week out there, these are small greens. If you hit greens, you got good looks at them. I'll go with Emiliano.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our golf picks. Let's go to some football. Mine lost last week. I thought the Jags would run all over Tennessee. They ended up winning, but didn't cover. Sad face for me. But before I get to my pick, I got to talk about one of the worst beats I've ever seen, or one of the greatest covers, if you were on the other side of it, in the history of sports.
I know what it is.
Miami, New York Jets, final game of the season. Miami's got to win to have a chance to get in the playoffs, which they ended up doing. Up 9-6. 0 time pretty much left on the clock. Jets got the ball. As the great Scott Van Pelt says, all of a sudden, here comes the pitchy woo-woo. They're throwing it all over the place. All of a sudden, the thing goes all the way to the goal line, rolls out of the corner of the end zone, almost hits the pylon, goes right by it. See the ref put up the safety sign, but they did not put the points on the board. The line, 3.5. The Dolphins were favored by 9-6. I know you're sharp with your math this morning. That's not a cover. Well, about 10 minutes later, all of a sudden, they did, I guess, I don't know if they reviewed it or what the deal, but it seemed like it took forever. Finally, they put the points on the board, 11-6, and the Dolphins with the easy cover.
Easy. There was some weird shit in the NFL this week. Packers game, the dude that just decides to run out there and catch the snap. Did you see that?
No, he just went out and touched the ball.
That's what I mean. He went out there and like blocking this. He was just kind of looked down the line of scrimmage and then just walked out there and was like grabbing the ball. I was like, what is going on here? I was heavy on that game too. I was like, you got to figure it out.
The other guy pushed the training staff member.
Yeah, exactly. Dude comes out, pushes the training staff, tossed. I was like, what is going on? Then Aaron Rodgers needs a drive to score, win the game. Would have probably bet a decent amount that was going to happen. Throws pick, game over. There was some weird stuff.
By the way, after my little
last week of the year.
The area code up in Detroit, the 313, saying that's the Lions' record every year. You think I'm going to get any shit up there at the Rocket Mortgage this year?
God, I was deep in my heart.
9-8 for the Lions.
Deep in my heart, I was going for the Lions. Seattle knocked them out earlier in the day. They had nothing to play for, and then they show up there and beat Green Bay.
But that's what they had to play for, just to ruin Green Bay's season.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell, just a beast.
Can you imagine that speech in the locker room with Dan Campbell? God, I'm tears just thinking about it.
All right, well, let's give it a football pick because that's what we really know. Listen, the Miami Dolphins, I don't even know who the hell their quarterback is. I don't think Tua's going to play. I think they have a very tall task ahead of them heading up to Buffalo, who's playing with, obviously DeMar Hamlin is doing much better, but he is still, in critical care. they're in the hospital, so they're still playing with a heavy heart, in my opinion. I think they are on a mission this year. 10.5's a lot in a playoff game, but when you don't know who your quarterback's going to be for Miami, it's going to be freezing cold up there. Them boys down in Miami are soft.
That's
I'm
a
going
tough
the
one if
Bills.
your full strength too is operating at full capacity. All that. That was another one of the weird things. The opening kickoff. Bills take it back to the house. It's just one of those things like sports, dude. Sports, weird stuff happens with that. That was a wild moment. All right, I'm gonna stay. I'll stay in the NFL as well here. Team I'm high on right now. You liked them last week. They didn't cover for you, but they're playing at home as a dog in the playoffs, and I think they're playing really well right now. I'm going Jags plus 1.5 against the Chargers at home.
This is going to be a very interesting game. This is the closest game on the board this week in the NFL. They do have some juice. The Chargers, in my opinion, one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Their coach, Brandon Staley.
That's what they do, the Chargers. They just find
ways. But they had nothing to play for on Sunday.
And they took some beatings.
Mike Williams and Joey Bosa both get hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Dude, Herbert was in there for forever. I was like, what are you doing? You're playing Denver. We got nothing. It means nothing. I get, like, if you don't play them and they show up to the playoffs and they're and they look bad, like, see, should have got them some reps. And if you play them but somebody gets hurt, like, see, you should have sat them. It's a no-win situation for these coaches.
It's a big-time problem.
There's a certain few guys that be like, all right, dude, you ain't really going today. Or if you do, hey, Herbert, you're going to play, you're going to hand it off a bunch of times until we have to punt or we score, then you're coming out.
I was the same way.
Zero risk.
I was the same way in the Cowboy game. I'm like, okay, Dak looks like shit. The Eagles are up 16-0. Like, maybe we just go ahead and rest him. Let's not get him hurt. I mean, Cooper Rush is a stud. But I would like to see Dak healthy going into the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know what the right answer to that is, but when you got like your marquee players, I'd rather have them slightly rusty and healthy than not playing.
All right,
that's just me.
Here's hoping that when this comes out, the TCU Horned Frogs are the national championships.
Please God,
maybe if they
God.
are. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle you.
We're taking the rest of the month off.
Don't forget to go to golf.com/thelarry. Make sure you sign up. February 6th, it's going to be one hell of a time. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.